Bugs crashing your pack's party? Whether they've got paws or sneakers, your pack deserves a home that's protected from pests. That's where Wondercide comes in. Plant-powered protection made with steam-distilled natural essential oils that actually work. It kills and repels fleas, ticks, mosquitoes, and ants without questionable ingredients or overpowering smells. Safe to use around kids and pets when used as directed, lab-proven to work fast, and proudly made in the USA. We offer sprays for pets, people, homes, and yards. Plus, spot-on treatments, collars, and even shampoos. Whatever your pack needs, we've got it covered. Founded by a pet parent looking for a better way to protect her dog Luna, Wondercide's now protected over 21 million lives and counting. You might have even seen us on Shark Tank. Go to Wondercide.com and use code WONDER20 for 20% off your first order. That's WONDER20 at Wondercide.com. Wondercide. Protect your pack with plant-powered Wondercide today.
You are about to listen to the Dr. Daliah Show. Sassy, stimulating medical talk radio. Any medical advice Dr. Daliah Wax gives on her show should not be substituted for an actual visit to your medical provider. And now, here's Dr. Daliah.
All right, we are back on the Dr. Daliah Show. Thank you all for tuning in. 1-877-Dr. Dali, 1-877-DOCDALI. So would you ever pay somebody to scratch your back? Like have a professional back scratcher? Apparently that's a thing. And, you know, it's interesting because we get to a point where we can't scratch our own bodies. I'm getting to that point where I don't know if I have rotator cuff issues, but there's a spot on my back right there. It's in between my scapula where the rhomboids are, where I can't reach it from here and I can't reach it from here. And so there's this little zone, and that's where I itch. And I'll rub up against a wall. I can't rub up against a door handle because the door handle's too low for that. I'll try to find something of that height, or I have to ask my husband or somebody to scratch my itch on my back. And so I didn't realize that there's actually a market for this. I was reading on Fox News that apparently there are professional back scratchers. There is a family-run business called Scratcher Girls. They operate a studio in Miami Gardens and a weekend booth at Hollywood's Yellow Green Farmers Market. Oh, the farmers market. And so they charge $74.99 for 30 minutes and $129.99 an hour. You could get scratching, you could get hair play. You know, it feels good when somebody's braiding your hair. I don't personally like, my hairdresser is so cool with me because my scalp is really kind of tender. And so when the hair pulls, I'm like, ow. So I'm not really big on somebody braiding or touching my hair. But many individuals love the feel of a scratch. You know, they might go to a masseuse and get massages, but what about scratching the surface? And so apparently there's people that do this. There's an art to it. And I noticed my kids are always like, Mom, scratch my back. You know, when they were younger, they love back scratching. Scratch my back, scratch my back. And I'm like, is the itch gone? And they're like, no. But it feels good when you scratch my back. And I'm like, you got red lines. And because my nails are long, all over your back, just, okay, enough with the scratching. You'll get more itchy. But why do we itch? Well, it's interesting. It's an immune response, and it's a body's way to protect yourself. There's a variety of reasons why we itch. Your medications can make you itch, like narcotics. You could have liver disease, kidney disease. But itching was designed by the body as a immune response. So when your mast cells release histamine and you have an allergic response to something, your body is trying to tell you that something's wrong. Your body is trying to tell you that you were exposed to something that you probably shouldn't do. And so the fact that you need to itch and you need to scratch, or you're itchy and you need to scratch, is kind of like a negative feedback mechanism. Another thing too, like chickenpox. People will get chickenpox when they used to get chickenpox before the vaccine, and they would want to itch and scratch. And I remember, patients would say, "Why would this virus make you itch?" Well, because maybe the body, when you itch, it's the body's way of you trying to get it out or induce your immune response. So when you scratch yourself, that scratch also wakes up your immune system. So it's like it's like a second layer of there's like a second wall that reminds the body, okay, you need to fight this. Some people with acne, they say they can't stop messing with their pimples. They itch, they bother them. Well, that's the body's way of people trying to get the pus out. Like with acne, your body will take immune cells, try to wrap up the acne bacterium, and then package it and then expel it out. And if it doesn't on its own get out there, by erupting, your body might itch so that you scratch it and then it comes out. You got to be careful though, because scratching could cause scarring. Scratching could cause more scratching, could cause more rash, could cause more skin inflammation. Remember, our skin is protective. So we want to protect our skin. Our skin is the biggest barrier, one of the most important barriers as it pertains to infectious disease. Not to mention, it also keeps in your fluid, hydration. So you don't want to hurt one of the most important barriers. This is our skin keeps us alive. Yes, the brain does too, the heart does, but if you didn't have your skin, you would just fall apart. So you need your skin, and you need your skin intact. So as just to quickly review, I don't know if I would actually pay for somebody to scratch. You keep in mind, they should wear gloves, because if they do nick your skin, like I broke a nail coming down the mountain the other night. And so, if you scratch somebody and they bleed, now you could introduce infectious disease. So I don't know if I would hire a professional back scratcher, but there's a lot of conditions that might make you itch. Atopic dermatitis, psoriasis, contact dermatitis like poison ivy. You have chronic hives, chronic urticaria, scabies. Some people are calling up going, I am just itching everywhere, and I don't know what I'm allergic to. And I go, well, one, you need to get this checked out and get some allergy testing, but have them check you for scabies. Scabies can burrow. It's a little parasite that'll burrow into your skin, and when the babies are hatched, it becomes very, very itchy. Why does it itch? Because your body wants to get you to pick them out. Problem is once scabies infest you can't scratch them all out. You'll be bleeding. So we use permethrin. We use a shampoo to knock it out. But if you are chronically itching, get your kidneys checked, get your liver checked. For those of you who drank a lot of alcohol and might have liver cirrhosis, those bile salts and or your disequilibrium of your liver metabolizing what it needs to, it can cause you to itch. Certain endocrine disorders, thyroid issues can cause you to itch. Certain blood disorders like being anemic, polycythemic, and interestingly, cancer could. What I don't want to worry you all, but I keep hearing from family members that, he kept scratching this one part of his body. Well, that could have been he misinterpreted the growth of a tumor as something that was itching him. So get yourself checked out if you chronically itch. 1-877-DOC-DALIAH. Don't go away.
Have you ever thought you'd like to buy and sell houses but didn't know how or where to get the money? My name is Ron LeGrand, and over the past 40 years, I've bought over 3,000 houses without using my money or credit and taught thousands to do the same. Today, even in a virtual environment, we buy nice houses in nice neighborhoods using no banks, realtors, contractors, or other costly entanglements, and build huge cash flow and wealth without the hassle of tenants, all without credit and little or no money. You don't need a license or experience, and I'll show you exactly how it's done. Text FREE to 99-799, and I'll send you my free training. I promise you I'll change the way you think about real estate and open the door to a new lifestyle that doesn't involve risk or rehabs and can quickly replace your current income. Text FREE to 99799 and let me show you how to take your life back and build cash flow and wealth from your home. That's FREE to 99799. Again, FREE to 99799.
Hi, it's Mark Falter, host of the Financial Fitness Show. I strongly believe that no one should ever pay 1 penny more in taxes than they are legally obligated. Unfortunately, for most hardworking Americans, this just isn't the case. Why? Because most people spend more time planning next weekend's getaway than trying to ensure they're going to pay less in taxes. My financial fitness team has put together some materials that I know are going to help you. It's the Tax Savings Kit. Tax Savings Kit includes 3 things: free tax analysis, top 10 ways to pay less in taxes, and an investor's guide to taxes. Now, how do you get it? Simple. 866-764-2635. Again, 866-764-2635. I'm Mark Falter. This is Financial Fitness, making personal finance profitable.
Back on the Dr. Daliah Show. Thank you all for tuning in. 1-877-DOC-DALI, 1-877-DOC-DALI. Big thanks to Talk Media Network for making the show happen. Big thanks to Daniel, our producer, and big thanks to y'all for tuning in. We really do appreciate it. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at X on Dr. Daliah, Facebook, the Dr. Daliah Show, and on YouTube. Click like and subscribe. So this article caught my eye. America's 5 worst states to be a woman. Now, before I read their list of states, if you asked me which state would I think would probably be the least beneficial for a woman, I would say California, number 1. Now, why would I say California? Because there's a lot of competition. I mean, there's all these beautiful, beautiful women. There is no way I would stand out. There's a lot of women. And so if I want, to have an advantage in terms of getting a job, being noticed, getting a date, I would say California would probably be the least advantageous because there's just too much competition. There's just no way I'd stand out. But no. That's not what this article is saying. They're saying it's 5 states that are run. Well, it's not the article necessarily, but the summary of it is that they are 5 states that are led by GOPs. Republicans. Wallet Hub collected data from all 50 U.S. states to determine where women are treated the best and the worst, based on everything from wage gaps to health and political representation. According to Wallet Hub analyst Chip Lupo, he said ensuring women's equality requires more than simply giving men and women the same fundamental rights. They say the best states for women's equality have drastically reduced the disparities between men and women on multiple fronts. They say the worst states have not made much progress based on the study's key metrics: workplace environment, education and health, and political empowerment. Now, I'm very confused by that because women can vote. So are they saying that, well, we don't see as many women legislators in these areas? I mean, how many women voted for Trump over Kamala Harris? You're actually insulting women by telling us that we aren't empowered because we don't vote another woman in. What if we think the person that's going to do the best job is, politician A or B, and that's who we want? I find it extremely insulting when people say, well, women, they're going to get the women vote. What is the women vote? Well, women vote for women's issues. You mean women have different issues than men politically? Yep. Which ones? Well, women will vote more for abortion, for family, maybe education, and men are more interested in national security. Oh, hell no. Women are interested in national security too. Women are interested in the economy. Women are interested in sports. Women are very interested in crime. I cannot stand this concept of these are women issues versus male issues. And then abortion. So you're stereotyping women, that women are all about wanting the government involved with Roe v. Wade in our choices, when Roe v. Wade's overturn actually got the federal government out. So you're implying some of us women don't understand what actually happened with Roe v. Wade overturn. We do. The Fed said we can't get involved. We can't ban abortion. We can't protect abortion. It's not in our purview. This is either a states' rights thing. Personally, I think it's between a patient and their doctor and the dad, father of the baby. Get all government out of it. And it also implies that women are pro ending a fetus's life. A lot of women we're concerned about people who were raped. We are concerned about incest. We are concerned for the life of the mother. But it doesn't mean all women have a callous attitude toward the life of a fetus. Yet that's how we are being depicted in stereotypes still. I thought we were done with stereotypes. So get this. So the 5 states that they're talking about are Utah. They consider Utah the worst place, alluding to, I guess probably polygamy and Mormonism and women go on missions. Women are revered in the LDS community. And are you saying that if a woman wants to raise a family, despite her religion, and become a homemaker, that's not as important? Homemaking is a full-time job, and then some. It's overtime. Now, they say Utah notoriously have some of the nation's largest wage and executive position gaps, meaning women are paid less and there are fewer opportunities for career progression. They say full-time working women in Utah earn 73 cents for every dollar men made. Now, that's according to National Women's Law Center. Now, if that is true, where I see a patient, a man sees a patient, and I get paid less for seeing that patient, that's not cool. But insurance doesn't do that. Insurance has no idea if I'm male or female. If they want to pay, like in Nevada, one insurance company was paying $2.42. Whether you're a man or woman, you're getting that $2.42. Now, is it that, I'm seeing fewer patients because I want to go home, check out the kids, or pick up the kids from school? Yeah, that's tough, but I can't be expected to get paid the same amount if I'm working fewer hours. But if a woman and a man are doing the exact same job, working the exact same amount of hours, doing the exact same productivity, they should get paid the same. But if you have, let's say, I don't know, male firefighters, and there are women firefighters as well, but you have somebody paid the firefighter salary and somebody paid who's, more doing administrative duties, that's not equal work. So we need to call it like we see it. But if Utah is literally paying a woman less for the same job, that's a problem. Now, I have seen the way, employers hire. They say, well, this is what we're offering. And then somebody's going to say, I can't take less than $100,000 a year. So they go, wow, okay, well, he's pretty bold. You know what? We really want you. We'll make it work. Whereas if somebody else, like let's say I interview and they go, well, we're paying $80,000. and I'll say I'll take the job. Because I didn't say I want 100,000, I will be making less than that person that asked for 100. So that's why a lot of employers are now saying, you know what, we're just going to pay the same amount, because just because somebody negotiated their salary, if men are more prone to negotiating their salary, men are going to be more prone to appearing to be paid more. So let's just no negotiation. This is what we're getting paid. But I got to tell you, I took a job where I negotiated my salary and it was more than the men. In fact, it was more than my boss. Now, he was cool, but, overall with it, but that had to have been a shock. Yet I'm a woman and I was making more. Why? Because I negotiated. They say Texas is the second worst state for women. They say low health and education rating and staggering gender wage gap. They say women are struggling to find decently paid jobs with solid benefits. I'd like to see that data. But apparently they say Texas men get paid $1,059 while women get $958. That is an issue. But I'd like to see, is it equal work? Idaho comes in next. Arkansas comes in following that, and then Louisiana. They say in Louisiana, the gender wage gap between women and men is one of the most glaring. They said women earn 77 cents per dollar compared to men. Now, if that's the case, they have some splaining to do. But if they're looking at, as I've said, somebody, not doing the heavy lifting. I mean, if a man is doing the heavy lifting, they should get paid more. So, for example, I see with nurses work their butts off. But if you're a male nurse, you are the one that has to do most of the heavy lifting. Should they get compensated for that? 1-877-DOC-DOLLY, don't go away.
Looking for a gift that can actually help secure someone's future? It's Mark Falter's new book, Common Sense Income Strategies. It makes the perfect gift for that special someone in your life. Mark has helped thousands of hardworking Americans secure their financial future by using time-tested strategies that continue to create wealth, whether the market is up or down. Strategies that will make perfect sense once you take the time to read this powerful book. Common Sense Income Strategies brings to you what Mark has been teaching in person and talking about on the radio for decades. You've worked too long and too hard not to see the fruits of your labor. To learn how to receive your free copy, call 866-764-2635. That's 866-764-2635. Secure your future with Common Sense Income Strategies by Mark Falter. Again, to learn how to receive your free copy, call 866-764-2635. That's 866-764-2635.
We are back on the Dr. Daliah Show. Thank you all for tuning in. 1-877-DOC-DOLLY, 1-877-DOC-DALI. So most of us were just at another graduation. And every December, every May, although some schools that have trimesters, we see thousands upon thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of students graduate. And every year I look at all the graduates. And the feeling I get, beyond the pride, beyond the happiness for them, is there's an awful lot of them. Are they all going to get the jobs they want? And for those of you who have any relatives or friends that have Gen Zs or younger millennials in the family, you are watching them really struggle. Because many of them have a degree or they have a career goal and they're not making it. They're living at home. They're struggling. They feel lost. And I am seeing this time and time again. And I feel really, really bad because their whole outlook, their whole economic landscape is way different than what I had. Me, all I had to do, which was a lot, was support myself, work multiple part-time jobs, waiting tables, tutoring, doing everything I did, get myself through school, get the degree, and I could have my job. And it's not that easy, even though that wasn't easy. People are getting their degree, but then what? There's no jobs. There are jobs out there, but not the jobs that they want. You know, every year I hear with the match for medical school that there were, hundreds or thousands of medical students not matching because there wasn't a residency program. Why the hell do we have more medical students than residency programs? So now you have people who are $500,000 in debt with no residency to go into? It's ridiculous. So we're graduating too many people. We learned in academia how to attract you, get your money, get you to sign up for classes. Okay, you know what? We got so many students. We'll just make more classrooms. We'll hire another teacher. We'll do online. Let's bring in the bucks. And so anybody who becomes a student is thinking to themselves, well, I'm going to become a lawyer. Well, I'm going to become a doctor, or I'm going to become, this marketing executive or this Wall Street guru. And then they remember there was an attorney. This was, I think about maybe 8-9 years ago, who couldn't get a job after leaving law school, that they ended up suing the law school because they said the law school did false advertising. They claim that if you go to their law school, you'll be placed in a job. And they couldn't find a job. So they ended up suing the school, all dressed up and ready to. If you're a lawyer and you're teaching students how to sue and they don't have a job, then they're going to sue you. That's what you train them to do. Now, you can make it. But boy, you are going to not only have to have the credentials and have the drive and have the effort, but you're going to have the cunning. You're also going to have to be okay with failure, which we have not taught our kids. Somehow in the last 10, 15 years, everybody got an award for showing up. And now in school, people aren't even getting Fs. It's, you know what? It's okay. You were born this way, or you were, society is working against you, so don't worry. Yeah, and we'll pass you anyway. Okay, if you fail, retake it, relearn it. How did I fail? Fix it. When you fall off a bike, you don't get an award. You won't learn how to ride that bike. You're going to have to get back on that bike, and you're going to have to practice so you can ride again. Swimming. I mean, it took me a while, but I learned how to swim. But there's a process. And we haven't taught these kids how to do that process. But they're also getting more Fs. When these people apply online, I learned how to pavement pound. That's how I got jobs. I just walked in. I pavement pounded. Walking down the pavement, going in saying, are you hiring? Are you hiring? Here's my resume. Let me introduce myself. The hiring manager was there. I met the hiring manager. Well, that worked for Gen X like me. That might have worked for the baby boomers. But when I had my Gen Z son do that, they were like, no, just go apply online. They don't want to be bothered. Every job, they're like, go apply online. Well, when you apply online, you're just a digital piece of paper. Well, you're a digital screen. And so people don't know how to stand out. Okay, well, they could do a startup. Well, what's everybody doing for these startups? People ask me, well, how do I do a startup? Well, it looks like a lot of them are doing apps. Everybody's doing an app. People have told me, Dr. Daliah, you need to come up with an app. You need to make an app. There's too many apps. All there are apps. Now, the business model for this app issue is you make an app that somebody rich will want, and then they buy it from you. See, people want to do what like Mark Zuckerberg did, or where okay, I'm going to make a platform, and then you buy that from me. Okay, well, there's only so many Jack Dorseys with Twitter or Elon Musk's or Mark Zuckerberg's or maybe you will make the next Facebook, and all the power to you, but only one of you could do that, or maybe two of you could do that. What do the other millions do? And if these individuals can't get jobs and they're living at home, then where's their tax dollars? What's going to happen to Social Security? What's going to happen to Medicare? The reason why we have these in place is because the younger generation is working and paying taxes. By the time I need Social Security, I'm really scared because we don't have enough people putting money into the system. And in fact, we have millions upon millions taking money out. Why do you think the GOP wants work requirements for Medicaid recipients? Medicare recipients are the ones who might have physical disabilities or are older, but Medicaid are able-bodied, most of them. So they want those who are able-bodied without kids at home to at least work part-time if they're going to get some benefits. But we have incentivized people to not work, to make them go and work. And the reason why they're saying childless is because an argument people have is daycare is too expensive. So they'll be in the hole going back to work. So it's cheaper for them to stay home and just get, help. We don't have enough money to take care of people. And now I am seeing young, strapping, strong, eager, young individuals jobless. 21-year-olds, 25-year-olds, 28-year-olds. These are the people that should be taking the world by storm. And they can't. The opportunities aren't there. They get passed over. The job could barely afford them. The money isn't enough for them to live on. It's a mess. And I don't know how to fix it. We let things skyrocket in price after COVID. We tried to raise wages, but the more you raise the wages, the more people can't pay you. So now there's less hiring, fewer hiring. Now companies are trying to automate as quickly as possible so they don't have to spend. Every McDonald's I walk into is just kiosks so they could get rid of all their $20 an hour workers because now the minimum wage went up to $20 an hour in California for fast food. So what you're seeing is a real dearth of opportunities for people to at least get their feet wet, learn about business, and it's easier for them and it's more lucrative for them to not work and stay at home. This is crushing. Our younger people should be out there doing things. Now, we do have a lot of young people that are taking the world by storm. But these people who want to take the world by storm and they want to reach their goals, they're being sidelined. Because the way the system is, it's a mess. And this is crushing. It's crushing to them from a mental health perspective. It's going to be crushing to us from an economic perspective. So we need to figure out what to do and fast. 1-877-Dr.
Hey guys, it's Clyde. We've had a lot of requests for Ground Zero merchandise, so we put together an online store with a big variety of high-quality items. I'm really excited to let you know about these things. We have a lot to offer you and your loved ones. In addition to our regular apparel, such as t-shirts, beanies, hoodies, and hats, we've expanded our product line with posters, flags, aprons, mugs, and a whole lot more. We also have Ground Zero collectibles along with a limited edition of items like a Clyde Lewis canvas portrait, a Ground Zero embroidered jacket that will certainly make for great gifts and for interesting conversations with family and friends. And we now offer publications such as Ron Patton's book about mind control, MK Zine, and back copies of the official magazine of Ground Zero while it was in print. Paranoia, the Conspiracy Reader, also coming in 2023, are updated and revised books that I've written. There's a secure and easy-to-use shopping cart for your purchases. So shop today at our official store by going to groundzeromerch.com. Again, that's groundzeromerch.com.
Hey guys, it's Dr. Daliah. Fantasy football season is coming, but sadly, too many of you are taking the bench while the country takes part in one of the most exciting and lucrative industries out there. Don't know how to play? Well, huddle up and listen. Paul Kalikas and I have written a fantasy football pocket guide for beginners. This book walks you through the basics and shows you how simple and lucrative joining or creating a fantasy football team can be. Read our fantasy football pocket guide for beginners found on Amazon or follow the links on X and Facebook. That's fantasy football pocket guides for beginners. Don't be left out.
Increase fuel economy up to 7.9% with Hot Shot Secret Gasoline Extreme, the solution to maximize your engine's performance and fuel economy. Whether you're driving a sports car or a daily commuter, Gasoline Extreme is specially formulated with PEA to deep clean. Don't settle for an average driving experience. Upgrade to Hot Shot Secret Gasoline Extreme and go further on each tank. Order now on Amazon or HotShotSecret.com. Hot Shot Secret, powered by science.
All right, we are back on the Dr. Daliah Show, 1-877-DOC-DALI, 1-877-DOC-DALI. So I'm sorry to sound like a broken record, but I think summer break is ridiculous. I am seeing parents drag their kids to Target, into Walmart, parents frustrated. They don't know what to do with their kids for the next few months. And these kids should be learning. I don't get that. I don't understand why Christmas break or winter break is only 2 weeks when there's coughs and colds and everyone's trying to travel and, bad weather. Yet the summer is 3 months. And listen, I love you teachers. I do not want anything to happen to your current schedule. I know I don't want to make you mad. We appreciate all you do. But I think, I'm sorry, somebody has to say it. It is flippin' ridiculous that our kids are sitting there watching TV, playing video games for 3 months of the year. Why aren't they learning? What a waste. These kids could be learning. They could be doing so much. Now, the devil's advocate is saying, but they're going on vacation with their parents. They're spending time with their family. If they are, that's great. But that's not what I'm seeing. I'm seeing parents struggle with childcare. And they're complaining. They're like, look, I pay taxes. Right, for school, yet I have to pay for childcare 3 months of the year. Not that school is supposed to be childcare, but parents aren't happy with that. And because they still have to work. Not a lot of people can afford 3 months of vacation. Right? In the real world, you work every day. Well, I mean, roughly throughout the week, although I know everybody's advocating for 3.5 day work weeks these days. So, I remember in my particular situation with my kids, I made them do summer school. I made them do summer camp. And they were saying, no, it's summer. I'm supposed to be resting. Do I rest in the summer? As an adult, you're going to be working. I go, summer break ends after school. There is no summer break. You have to support. Imagine telling your landlord, sorry, it's end of May, June, July. I don't pay rent. Your landlord will kick your ass out. And I explained to my kids early on, just because with school you get summer break doesn't mean that's real life. And I wanted my kids to learn. Even teachers tell me it is so hard in August or September to get these kids to remember what they learned 3 months prior. I go, why did they go for a 3-month break? But that's how we have it now. I say widen winter break by an extra couple weeks. I don't mind a month off in the winter because people are sick. They're not showing up to class anyway because they got COVID or flu. They're trying to race home, to see the family. Delayed planes. Let's widen winter break and shorten summer break. Maybe have a couple extra weeks off during the year. But you don't have a child play video games for 3 months of the year. These children should be learning year round. So what do? Well, what we had to do was we had to pay extra. We had to pay extra for summer camp. We had to pay extra for summer school, which I think is BS because you're paying for but that's how all these colleges and schools and, that's how they make their money. But I was grateful at least there were programs they could do. And I didn't have them in there all day, but keep up your learning. You know how much a child could learn in 3 flipping months? So what do? If you live in an area where, no, it's not year-round school, it's their home playing video games for 3 months, what should you be doing with them? Well, hopefully there are lots of, in your community, summer options, whether it's a camp, whether it's playing, whether it's, learning, like, Girl Scouts and Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts. I mean, they used to have things where, the kids would learn how to camp and start a fire and things like that. Try to have them learn practical stuff. If they're not going to be in the classroom, then teach them about practical things. Another thing is, if you do have any friends that don't mind the kids learning and shadowing, if they're older, see if they could spend an afternoon with one of your friends at work to see how it's done. Remember I told you how I want schools changed, where the mornings are your academic, no more than 20-minute long classes where they're learning what they need to do, get it reinforced, and then all those core classes done by the morning. This way, if you have trouble hiring teachers, they only have to work a half a day. The afternoon are your other teachers that can introduce them to all the trades and all the different, depending on their grade level. Some will get exposed to construction. Actually, they all will have these few week or month-long rotations in construction, in plumbing, in farming, in manufacturing, in medicine, in law, in education. So that by the time they are sophomores, which I think high school should end at age 16, they know what they want to go into in life. They know what they want to do. They have seen a lot of what these jobs are, and they've gotten some training so that junior and senior year is now their associate's degree or their trade certificate. So by the time everybody leaves at the age 18, they have either an associate's degree or they have a trade certification so they could start working at age 18. High school done, there's your free college. But how it is now is, we're having lack of proficiency. We're having kids getting fat over the summer, getting eye strain, playing video games. What a waste. Our kids should not be home playing video games. So your job is to get these kids exposed to things. Let kids see what construction is like, what medicine is like. Nobody's going to let a kid be around a doctor's office. Absolutely. I had my friends' kids, but they want to follow around and watch when I had my office. Absolutely. Let these kids see what's out there. These experiences are going to mean a lot. Let them volunteer. You know how many places need volunteers? Food banks, shelters. Let them help and learn, depending on their age. Ask local charities, what do you need? Do you need pictures from kids for, ask the local hospital. Like we have Sunrise Medical Center and UMC Children's Hospital. Ask them if the kids in the hospital would like to have a card or some pictures from other kids. And then have your kids do that. Have your kids do toy drives. Get your kids to be active this summer and do something meaningful. Plus, it helps boost their resume. When you apply for a job, it's not, well, what did you learn? It's what have you done? Well, I did this, I did this, I did this, I organized this. You know how cool that would be? Have your kids help you do a garage sale, and they get to keep some of the profit. Get these kids to do things other than video games. And if you do have to work, talk to other parents and get a pod, like I told you, where what you do is you have somebody watching Monday, somebody Tuesday, Wednesday, and so whoever has that day off will take care of the kids. And work out a system so that these kids are always doing something. They're around other kids, they're learning, and they're staying active. But summer break should be way the hell different than it is now. And I just don't understand why we are giving up weeks and months of our child's learning lives because we have a system of, sorry, it's summer vacation. If that summer vacation was you being with grandma and grandpa, you learning how to fish, you helping out on the farm, you making money, okay, you're being productive. But how many kids are being productive? It kills me to see the waste. Such waste. They should be out there selling lemonade. That's what I did. I hated summer vacation. Now, I understand I'm a workaholic, so I did lemonade stands. I was like, I might as well make money. I got to do something because I was sick of watching Price is Right and I Love Lucy reruns. So let's get to work, people. 1-877 Doc Daliah. Dr. Daliah here. Are you tired, burned out, gaining weight, succumbing to the daily pressures of life? Well, how's your dopamine doing? How you feel right now, how you'll feel an hour from now, and how you'll feel next week is completely reliant on your dopamine. Our daily motivation and willingness to push through challenges depends on the intricate chemical process dopamine provides. Christian Kalikas and I created Deploying Dopamine, a book that tells you what dopamine is, when it dysfunctions, and how to successfully deploy it when needed. Find Deploying Dopamine on Amazon today. Check it out.
Carl Amari here to tell you about our newest website for old-time radio lovers. It's 100radioshows.com. At this site, there are 5 old-time radio shows waiting for you to download free as our gift to you, and be sure to browse the additional 700 old-time radio shows available to you for 70% off by using the promo code RADIO at checkout. This is a limited-time offer, so log on to 100radioshows.com. That's 100radioshows.com.